With Father's Day around the corner, if you want to give your dad or just yourself a fantastic steak and potatoes dinner, may I suggest this smoked picanha with roasted red pepper chimichurri and grilled potatoes. First up, we will deal with our picanha, which I have here about a 4-pound roast. This is from the sirloin rump cap, and you're going to need to ask your butcher for it or order it online, but it is definitely available. As you can see, the meat fibers go in one direction, so we're going to cut our steaks with the meat fibers so that when we cut them across to eat them, they'll be nice and tender. As you can see, we've got some absolutely beautiful marbling in this cut here. This is going to be a beautiful combination of beefy, rich flavor and absolutely tender meat. We'll cut a little bit of that fat cap off. We don't need all of that on there. It's not going to totally render. Then we'll go ahead and cut these into some big old 16-ounce steaks, seasoned very generously on both sides with salt, and set them aside. Next up, we'll turn our attention to our chimichurri, which I'm just going to make in a blender, but you could actually do just by chopping this all on a board and putting it in a bowl. I'm adding some roasted red peppers to my blender, along with a good handful of parsley. The exact amounts will be down below as always. For acid, we're going in with some red wine vinegar. We'll season it up with some smoked paprika, as well as 4 to 5 large cloves of fresh garlic, the juice of 1 lemon, just a pinch of dried oregano. You could also use fresh oregano here, that would be just fine. And we'll sprinkle in some red pepper flakes for heat. Of course, season that with freshly cracked pepper and a strong pinch of salt. And then we'll just blend that up until it is relatively smooth, but you do want some chunks in there as well. We're not trying to turn this into a puree. Place that in a large bowl, and then we'll add in a few good glugs of olive oil and just stir all of that around until it is very thoroughly combined. This is an absolutely incredible condiment for fish, chicken, beef, really any kind of meat. It's smoky, it's herbal, it's zippy from the lemon juice and vinegar, and it's just delightful. Next up, anytime you're grilling potatoes, I love to use a waxy potato like these new red potatoes, so I'll go ahead and cut those into small wedges. Drizzle them very thoroughly with olive oil, and then season very thoroughly with salt, pepper, and some herbes de Provence or whatever dry seasoning blend you'd like. Then we'll toss those around to make sure they are all thoroughly coated in that seasoning. Next up, I'm going to turn my grill on to about 250 to 300 here, lay down my potatoes and give those about a 20-minute head start. Then we'll go ahead and add our steaks on. And we're going to cook these until they're about 110 degrees internally. That is, of course, still rare, but we're going to sear them, and they're going to come up to a nice medium rare around 130 to 135. Once those steaks hit around 110 degrees, we'll go ahead and remove them. And go ahead and turn your grill up to about 450 degrees. That's going to help cook those potatoes. I'm giving them a little bit of olive oil spray for extra help there. We'll lay our steaks back down, and these are going to take another 10 to 15 minutes at 450 to get a nice sear on the outside. As you may notice, one of the steaks was missing, and that's because I decided to do a little experiment and see how they would sear up in a cast iron skillet, and as you would guess, it did not disappoint. I got an absolutely beautiful golden brown sear on the outside of this steak, and was able to render some of that fat cap as well. As for the taste test, we'll get to that in just a second. Our steaks have come up to about 125 to 130. They're going to carry over, cook through. While they rest, we'll finish up our potatoes. You definitely want your potatoes to have a nice little golden brown crust on the outside and be soft and tender on the inside. As I was checking these, I could tell they were just about done, so went ahead and pulled those off. And guys, of course, you could do these potatoes in the oven and just pan sear your steaks. That would be fine as well, but I loved trying out my new Traeger grill, and it did not disappoint. As you can see, the cast iron seared steak definitely has a nicer color to it, but as far as flavor goes, I actually preferred the one that I seared on the Traeger. As you can see, beautiful, blushing, medium rare from edge to edge there. And the pellets just impart so much smoky flavor. This is not an advertisement or anything. I just really, really enjoyed my first cook on that Traeger pellet smoker. To plate this up, I'm going to lay down some of those beautifully roasted potatoes and garnish with a little bit of fresh parsley. I'll put down a few slices of that blushing, beautiful red steak. It's a big piece of meat, so I'm going to give it a little finishing salt, and then just drizzle that smoky, briny, roasted red pepper chimichurri right over the top to serve. These potatoes are absolutely pillowy, soft, have a beautiful texture on the outside from that hard smoke and sear at the end. Don't know why I left my cabinet open, by the way, but enjoy. This steak is absolutely phenomenal. I have never actually had picanha before. This was my first effort at cooking it, and it did not disappoint. It was extremely beefy, really tender. My better half, who doesn't typically eat steak, sat down and ate the whole thing. And I'm just going to tell you, this is a killer meal. So seek out some picanha, grill it, and smoke it, and serve it up for your dad, yourself, or your family. I promise, whoever it is, they won't be disappointed. Now it's your turn to go make something delicious.